On 20th December 1995, an American airplane Boeing 757 en route to Colombia veered off route and crashed in the mountains. Only 4 out of 167 passengers and crew members survived. Within a few months of the crash, it was revealed that the pilots at the control made a series of errors which has led to this catastrophe. The finding not only sent shockwaves through the aviation industry, but also safeguarded the reputation of Boeing 757, one of the most sophisticated aircraft to be ever built. According to the experts, airplanes just do not fall out of the sky. There is always a series of events that leads up to an airplane crash. These, these series of events are determined through a scientific process called air crash investigation, and the end to make flying safer in the scope of this paper. However, one, as an aspiring engineer, myself was required to study in detail crash reports of air accidents as well. I'll be reviewing how an air crash investigation briefly by providing true facts and statistics. To begin with, the International Civil Aviation Organization requires a civil aircraft accidents to be investigated by an independent body belonging to the country where the accidents took place. These independent bodies sets up team called an air crash investigation team. The investigating team consists of aeronautical engineers and scientific experts required to respond immediately and go to the accident site no matter the location of the site. The investigation of the accidents and the scattered plane debris may take from few weeks to months. During this time, the team works in a number of small groups and collect a wide range of data which may be relevant to the inquiry. A careful record is made of the wreckage and accident scene, with calculation of the impact angles so that the pre-accident flight can be determined. The engines and all the details of the electrical and hydraulic system, together with the flight control instruments, are examined. This is helpful in determining whether the airplane disintegrate before impact or not. For instance, if an aircraft does not disintegrate before the impact with ground or sea engines are normally found functioning at the time, just before the impact, provided the cause of crash did not involve shortage of fuel. Nevertheless, the second step of the investigation, after the documentation of the accident scene, is looked at the human error. Crew members and maintenance staff are interviewed to look at possible human error. Factors such as medical history, fatigue, workload, working environment, and alcohol or drug abuse. Majority of airplane crashes are due to human errors. For accidents, there are fatal surviving passengers and crew of plane crash are interviewed once they recover from the trauma and injuries, as they can give factual information of what they heard in the flight before the crash or if they saw any structural damage and engine failure or the role played by damage by the weather in the crash. Survivors of, of many air crashes have given details which has helped the investigators to lead up to the cause of the crash. The testimony of the survivors is vital to the process of investigation. A transcript of the conversation between the air traffic control and the crew members in the cockpit is also viewed to help in the investigation. Furthermore, airplanes are equipped with two types of flight records: the flight data record (FDR) and cockpit cockpit voice recorder (CVR) designed specially to aid an investigation after an airplane accident or incidents. The flight data recorder records various flight data such as altitude, airspeed, direction, acceleration, or deceleration, and the timing of the radio transmission made by the crew from the last 24 hours of the flight, whereas the cockpit voice recorder accounts of audio information in the cockpit such as alarms, switch activation, along with the voice of the crew for the last 30 minutes of the flight. These flight recorders are built to protect the data from both high-speed impact and subsequent fire. These flight recorders are also equipped with beacons with emit signals that last for 30 days after the air crash, which helps air crash investigation team to find the accident site, especially in the case of airplane crash into a sea. The flight data recorders are analyzed in the specialized audio laboratories and the graphical reconstruction or view of the sequence of events leading up to an accident or incidents can be created with the help of advanced computer graphics. At last, the objective of the investigation team is to publish a report for an air crash within 4 to 7 weeks and submit it to the various civil aviation bodies in the countries around the globe. And any recommendation by the investigating team and the report are always given priority so that any change in the aircraft structure, controls, pilot and crew training can be put into effect as soon as possible to assure that a similar type of incidents or accidents does not happen in the future. Thank you.